Oh hey, I just saw BOOKSMART and it's amazing. BOOKSMART is the directorial debut of actress Olivia Wilde, and it comes from a script by a team of all-female writers and stars Kaitlyn Dever and Beanie Feldstein as high school friends. It's their final day, they're graduating tomorrow, and they've realised that they haven't done any of the fun stuff because they've just been working on getting into good colleges, and so with one day to go, they're going to go out and party like they've never partied before. And they haven't ever partied before. And it leads to being one of the most look, this movie is so much fun. There's so much more going on here than just fun, but I want to start with that because that's the main thing I felt while watching this movie. Honestly, this was so insanely entertaining to me from the second it started. This movie just seems to capture the high school experience as I think I saw it in high school, and it wasn't that long ago. But I think what it really nails is just how life and death, everything seems to you while you're in high school. Once you're out of it, once your years past it, you look back and go, yeah, none of that was really a big deal. But this movie really got this idea, and it's something that Olivia Wilde has said in interviews, that high school feels like a war zone. And I think this movie really nailed that feeling, and because everything in this movie is so high stakes to the characters all the time, it adds this really gripping sense to it where I just felt every moment of drama and comedy because it was kind of dialed up to 11 because that's how you perceive it while you're in high school. And I just thought that that made for the most wildly thrilling teenage movie, high school movie that I think I've ever seen. And I'm sure that, everyone's got their own tastes because everyone relates to different high school movies in different ways, but this was my high school movie. And that's kind of crazy because this is a female story told from a very female perspective, but something about the way it sees high school was just perfect to me. And the way that these characters are allowed to basically, it sets them all up pretty clearly at the start of the movie. We know who they are, we know what they care about, and then just shows what they're missing and lets those characters chase that for the entire movie. And you're just hoping that they get there and find what that is by the end of it. That makes for a really, really powerful high school story. And the performances across the board here are absolutely wonderful. The main duo have some of the most electric comedic chemistry, just chemistry in general, that I can't put into words really how much I love everything about this movie, so I'm just going to stop and say that now. I walked out of this and was just straight up, that is an all-time favorite. What Olivia Wilde does with this movie, as I said, she turns everything in it up to 11. It's just this full-on assault of energy and music and color and sound and emotion all the time, all the way through, and I just loved every single second of it. I've got to say, one of the things I love so much about this movie is the way it portrays female sexuality. We just don't really get to see it being so open and real in movies like this, and I'm so happy that teenage girls and just women in general have this movie. I feel like there's a lot of women who are gonna feel like they wish they had this movie going through high school, and I'm a dude and I see what this movie has to offer from that perspective, and I love it. I love the fact that one of the main two characters is gay and that relationship is treated exactly the same as if that character was straight and they had interest in men as opposed to women. And I just love the way that was handled throughout the movie. It just felt so natural and easy, and that's just the way it is. It's a very accepting movie. It's a very welcoming movie. It welcomes all kinds of people because it understands that, in a way, high school is just a microcosm of the real world with all these different people with all these different interests that just want to be seen for who they are. And I've got to give a particular shout out right now to Billie Lourd's character, Gigi, who was just one of those characters who is living who they are all the time and brings out the best in the people around her. Honestly, one of just that character is just one for the ages, just a comedic strike of lightning, just perfection. But that's the thing, this movie just seems to see people, to see teenagers, to see kids as they want to be seen. And I think that's part of what's drawn me so much to this movie, is this like bottomless well of empathy that it draws from towards its characters. There's no judgment to anyone, even the characters that are main characters probably see as the villains in their life. There's no real judgment towards them. It's all about seeing these people as they want to be seen, because the movie understands that in high school, quite often people are not seen the way they want to be seen. And the movie's about these people connecting and seeing each other as they want to be seen. I don't know if I can say that any more times. Booksmart is also just astoundingly creative, like almost too creative for me to believe that it's Olivia Wilde's first movie. I cannot wait to see what she does next after this, because there's something about, you can just see the passion bleeding from every single pixel and soundbite in this movie, from the cinematography, which is just gorgeous with some incredibly creative framing that continues to expand our understanding of the characters, through to some really bold creative decisions, particularly in the third act. Those of you that have seen it will know that there's one shot in particular which I am still astounded by how much work that moment was doing. The music choices across the board are fantastic. A lot of this music that I'm incredibly familiar with. There was a great use of Subtract at one point. You guys that know the song and know just Theo with the long hair and the teacher, that moment just whoo, perfect. I kind of sound like I'm losing my mind over this movie, and I am. I need you guys to understand just how special I think that this movie is. There's been a lot of teenage coming of age films recently. There's been Mid-90s and Lady Bird and Call Me By Your Name and Moonlight and Skate Kitchen and so many others that are all fantastic. And this might be my favorite of the lot, just not of the recent crop, of just these coming of age movies in general. Something about this just felt like someone had actually gone out, like it almost felt like a movie made by teenagers. And it had that same electric energy and youthful excitement about what the future holds, while also being able to have this reflectiveness over how important the moment right now is, how important every day of your life is. And it's very much a movie about seizing every moment of that and living with no regrets and going out and doing the things that you wanted to, not letting one path or one particular thing, goal that you were keen on, to hold you back from doing all the other things you've wanted to do. And that's just something that I really connect with. All the statements this movie made, I thought were really, really beautiful. And look, I don't know if you guys are gonna love Booksmart as much as I did. I don't know if you guys are going to get as much from it as I did, but I'm so glad that this movie exists for the people that feel the same way about it as I do, because I love this movie pretty much more than I can put into words. So those are my thoughts on Booksmart. Have you seen it yet? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you like this video? Well, of course you did. You can subscribe to Breaking Banter down there somewhere, as well as my other channel, Loverboy Media, over there somewhere. You can follow me on Twitter at Loverboy Media and on Instagram at Breaking Banter. And if you really, really want to help support this channel, you can support on Patreon. Thank you so much to anyone who is doing that on there already. All of you guys that watch these videos are just amazing. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next one.